is on the stove, and I've got it on a medium-high heat. And what you want to do is bring it up to a boil. In my opinion, chicken stock is not hard. It's not hard to make. It's just time consuming because you're going to let this simmer for 4 hours. There is a version that you can do in a crock pot. I've never done it, but feel free to look that up. And every 30 to 45 minutes in my version, you have to come in and you have to skim the fat off of it. And I'll show you that. So when I bring it to a boil, I'll bring you back. Okay, y'all can see this has come to a boil. So I turned it down to medium heat, and you can see a little bit of scum on the top. Just want to skim that off. Be gentle when you're stirring this because it is boiling liquid. Also, be careful. You can't ignore this. This isn't one of those things, well, in the beginning, you can't walk away from it. See, there's some fat. Skim it off. Put it in your bowl. And once we're done skimming the fat off of this time we'll set the timer. And we'll come back every 30-35 minutes and skim it and give it a stir. This is it though. This is basically how I make chicken stock. You'll see the fat floating. And just skim it off. I keep meaning to purchase one of those fat separators because I wind up, every time I make stock, I wind up throwing out probably 2 cups of it just from this bowl alone because I'm not putting it in a fat separator and getting the stock out of the bottom of it. I keep meaning to buy one, I just haven't. So, like I said, I've turned the heat back. And we're gonna let this simmer. When I have it simmered for 35 minutes, in fact, let me go ahead and start the timer. I'll bring you back the next time I'm ready to skim it. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and skim again. My timer went off. And what you're looking for is like the oil, and you can see it floating on top. So you just want to get just beneath the oil into the stock and scoop it out. You also want to look for any scum, which is white, foamy looking stuff. You can see I have another pot going. I decided since I had one pot going, I'd go ahead and do another one. So I'm going to skim both of these. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn it back just a little bit, put a lid on it, and let it go for about 2 hours, and we'll come back and check it. Chicken stock is very subjective. You can add pepper to this. I just don't prefer to add pepper. You can add garlic. I've added garlic before, and it tastes wonderful. You can add parsley, dill, whatever aromatic herb you want to add to it. I just wanted a plain chicken stock today. So that's what I'm making. You do need to add the salt though. The salt gives it the flavor. If you don't add the salt, I guarantee you this is gonna wind up tasting like dirty dishwater. So go ahead and salt it. Now, if you wanna hold back on salt and just add a little salt at a time, that's fine, but you do need the salt. So I'm gonna go ahead, turn this back, and put the lids on. I'll set the timer for 2 hours. Now you don't want to walk away right away because you want to see if these are going to boil over with the lids on because of course the heat's getting trapped and they're going to boil faster. So I'm going to hang around for a few minutes to see if this is going to boil over or if the temperature is just fine, and bring you back when the 2 hours is up. Okay, my timer's gone off, so I'm going to take the lids off, and that was the 2 hour timer. So we're gonna go ahead and try and skim again, and you can tell that the liquid has reduced a great deal, and that's fine. What it's doing is just it's concentrating its flavor. And right now I don't know if there's gonna be that much fat to skim off. So I'm not seeing a lot in that one, so let's go over here. Oh, there's some in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and skim this off, put the lids back on, reduce the heat again, just by a little bit, and put the timer back on for 1 hour and 30 minutes, and that will be our 4 hours. If you want to, go ahead and taste it right now, see if it needs any more salt. So I'm gonna put the lids back on, reduce it again, put my timer on, and bring you back when I'm ready to strain it. Okay, what you're gonna do is try and get these two pots as close together as you can, and then just start straining out. And this is wet right here. My kitchen towel is wet. You can use cheesecloth. I just don't have any. The first couple of times I used, I made chicken stock, I did use cheesecloth, and I washed it and whatever. And then I was just like, why can't I just use a clean kitchen towel? Same thing. So you're just trying to get the big chunks out right now. I'll show you what I do here in a minute. It's a slotted spoon I'm using. And you'll notice that a lot of the liquid has concentrated. And the color comes from the carrots and from the onion peels. So let me go ahead and get this finished, get all the chunks out of it, and I will bring you back and show you what I do next. Okay, that pot is empty, and I just take a potato masher and I just mash down, because there's still a lot of good juice in here, a lot of good flavoring that is getting trapped in between all the vegetables and stuff. So I just kind of press it down. Get all of that out of there I can, because that's some good stuff right there. We've spent 4 hours making this. Let's get every drop out of there that we possibly can. Okay, when I'm done with that, I will bring you back. Okay, this one I think is pretty much done. I've let it sit for a few minutes. It's extremely hot, and the towel now is extremely hot. But if you wanted to, you could take this and twist it some more and get some more of the stock out of there. It's just really hot. I think if I had tougher hands, I could get more of it out of there, but I don't. So I just take what's in this towel and I put it in the trash. And here comes my dog, because that's what dogs do. I'm going to go ahead and rinse the towel out. Put it back in my strainer. And when you rinse it out, wring it out really good. Okay. I'm going to put it back in here. And I'm going to start on that second pot. Same deal, just try and get as close to each other as possible so you don't lose a lot of liquid just didn't carry over from one pot to the other. You can, now this is going to make quite a bit, so I'm sitting here going, I'm going to make soup, but I'm not going to use it all. And there's different ways to store the chicken stock. You can freeze it in 1 or 2 cup increments. You can can it. I'm not going to can this because I am going to make 2 different pots of soup from it. And whatever's left over, I'll just make sure, like I said, not can it, but freeze it in 1 or 2 cup increments. That way I can pull it out and use it for my spaghetti sauce, or I can make rice with it, or whatever I need it for. I'll have it in those increments. So I'm going to go ahead and pour this in here. them out. Okay. I'm gonna let that drain. And it'll drain through. But that's basically chicken stock. And I call it chicken stock because the bones are roasted. I think chicken broth is where you boil the chicken with the vegetables. Like you put a raw chicken in there and you boil it. I think that's chicken broth, but don't take me at my word on that. But I do believe chicken stock is where the bones are roasted. And you roast the bones to bring out more flavor. So I'm going to go ahead and continue this and just do some cleanup so I can put the chicken stock back in these two pots. And I will bring you back when I have them back in their pots. There it is, homemade chicken stock. This pan is full and this was what was left over. You can see the color of it is a nice dark golden color. It's rich in flavor. It's wonderful. Don't forget to check yours for salt. You will need to add salt, but that's to your taste. And I cannot wait to make soup with this. I hope you enjoy.